15 incredible geography facts about the USA. Let's react.
I guarantee you don't know just how weird and fascinating US geography is. If you want to wow your friends and acquaintances at the next party you go to, here are 15 incredible facts you need to know about geography of the United States. And let's start with the state that's both the easternmost and westernmost state in the US.
And it's... Who it is?
We're talking about Alaska. This fascinating geographic quirk comes from the fact that the Aleutian Islands, a very long chain of volcanic islands extending from Alaska into the Pacific Ocean, crosses the 180th meridian, the imaginary line that separates the western and eastern hemispheres. Because some of the islands lie west of this line, Alaska is both in the western and eastern hemispheres.
This is something new for me. I didn't know that USA has these kind of volcanic islands. And it does look like a tail of scorpion. And another thing, of course, your neighbors of Russia is over here, right on the left. That I knew, of course, because back in the day, Russia sold Alaska to USA,
making it technically the easternmost US state. This is an odd distinction, as we typically associate the easternmost points of the US with places like Maine. But geographically, Alaska holds the title for both.
Okay.
Since we're already talking about the eastern seaboard, which state do you think is closest to Africa?
I will go with Florida, or yeah, Florida.
It might seem surprising, but Maine is geographically closer to Africa
No
than
way,
Florida.
man.
Specifically, the distance from Quoddy Head, Maine, the easternmost point of the United States, to El Beduza, Morocco, is roughly 3,154 miles. In contrast, the distance from Miami, Florida, to the same point in Morocco is about 4,025 miles.
Well, I was very close to the right answer.
Making Maine closer by about 800 miles. This surprising fact is due to the curvature of the Earth and the positioning of the continents. While Florida sits much farther south and is closer to the equator, which runs through the heart of Africa, Maine's location is much farther east, and Africa extends much farther north than many people realize. This geographic quirk highlights the often unexpected results of global geography, where straight lines on maps don't always tell the full story due to Earth's spherical shape. It's a fascinating reminder of how the Earth's geometry can make certain locations appear closer than we might expect based purely on latitude.
Yeah, it's overall fascinating that we live on the globe that floats in a space. This is kind of crazy when you think about it.
The population distribution of the United States is strikingly uneven. If we were to draw a line just west of San Antonio, Texas, about 80% of the country's population would live east of it, while only 20% resides to the west.
I thought that west side has a bigger population just because there are more states that have a good weather. You know, people love to live in the states where a good weather.
This divide reflects both historical patterns and geographic factors. The western side of the country includes major urban centers like New York, Chicago, and Washington, D.C., areas that have been developed and densely populated since the colonial era. In contrast, the western U.S., despite containing large cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco, is more sparsely populated, largely due to vast stretches of desert, mountains, and wilderness. The West's harsh and rugged landscapes, such as the Rocky Mountains and deserts of the Southwest, have historically made large-scale settlement difficult. Even today, much of the land west of San Antonio consists of national parks, forests, and protected areas, contributing to the population imbalance. And one of the best examples of these sparsely populated western states is Wyoming.
Man, Wyoming is just from another dimension. I mean, the nature, the landscapes there, they are from like alien movies.
Wyoming is, of course, known for its vast open spaces and rugged landscapes. But perhaps most notably, it's known for its extremely low population. In fact, Wyoming's population is so low that it actually has more cattle than people. With a population of just over 580,000,
You kidding me? Literally, wow. And it's so huge also, such a huge state.
ranks as the least populous state in the US.
Wow.
Meanwhile, the state's agricultural industry is dominated by cattle ranching, with roughly twice as many cows as people. Cattle grazing plays a significant role in the state's economy, with beef being one of Wyoming's key exports. This reflects the broader trend in many western states where large stretches of land are devoted to ranching and population densities remain very low.
I know one thing for sure, that in Wyoming they have no problem with meat. They have a lot of meat over there. This is USA, Canada, probably he's talking about.
Stretching approximately 5,525 miles, the longest international border in the world is between the United States and Canada. This immense boundary runs from the Atlantic Ocean in the east to the Pacific in the west, crossing diverse landscapes such as the Great Lakes, prairies, forests, and mountains. It also includes the border between Alaska and Canada, which alone spans over 1,500 miles. Despite its length, the US-Canada border is known for being relatively peaceful and unfortified, in stark contrast to many other international boundaries. Both countries maintain a healthy relationship, and their shared border facilitates extensive trade and cultural exchange.
Is it like an open border, or you need some kind of documents to go to Canada? Let's say you need some kind of visa or something like that to go to Canada, or it's much easier, you just go and that's it?
Additionally, the two countries have various agreements to manage their border, including the Great Lakes St. Lawrence River Basin Sustainable Water Resources Agreement, as well as various partnerships for national parks that straddle the boundary.
Amazing, man. That lake was that waterfall was just phenomenal.
Speaking of the Great Lakes, Lake Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, and Ontario are a global freshwater treasure, holding about 21% of all surface freshwater on Earth. These 5 interconnected lakes contain over 6 quadrillion gallons of water, providing drinking water for over 40 million people in the US and Canada.
That's
Formed
crazy.
by retreating glaciers at the end of the last ice age, the Great Lakes span more than 94,000 square miles and are vital to North America's ecology and economy.
Why they are lakes? To me, they look more like sea. Does anybody know the answer? Let me know in comment section.
Together, they support a vast array of fish and wildlife and serve as important trade routes, with shipping channels connecting the heartland of North America to the Atlantic in both the east and south. Today, the Great Lakes water is protected by the Great Lakes Compact, a legally binding interstate agreement between Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and the Canadian provinces of Ontario and Quebec. Now let's take a look at Colorado. This state is known for its rectangular shape, but its real borders are not as straight as they appear on maps. When Colorado was created in 1876, its borders were meant to follow specific lines of latitude and longitude. However, the tools used for surveying in the 19th century were not as precise as modern GPS technology, leading to slight inaccuracies. Over time, as more accurate surveys have been conducted, minor corrections have been made to the state's boundaries.
Look at this. This is fantastic view, Colorado. Man, my props to you. You have a phenomenal landscape.
These changes are mostly imperceptible to the average person, but demonstrate how geography and human technology can influence the way we define political borders. The same phenomenon can be found in other states with supposedly straight borders. Surprisingly, the largest rainforest in the United States isn't located in Hawaii or Florida, but in Alaska. The Tongass National Forest, covering over 16.7 million acres, is the largest national forest in the country and is also a temperate rainforest. Located in southeast Alaska, it forms part of the Pacific Temperate Rainforest, the largest remaining temperate rainforest in the world. The Tongass is characterized by its dense old-growth forests of Sitka spruce, western hemlock, and red cedar.
This is fairy tale forest, and I bet you this is ancient forest. Literally, that forest have seen dinosaurs.
Along with a rich array of wildlife, including bears, wolves, and salmon. The forest plays a crucial role in local ecosystems, supporting biodiversity and regulating the climate by absorbing carbon dioxide. It's also a vital resource for the indigenous communities who have lived in the region for thousands of years. However, as with other rainforests, the Tongass is threatened by logging and climate change, sparking debates about conservation efforts. In California, Mount Whitney and Death Valley are only 85 miles apart, yet they represent two of the most extreme points in the contiguous United States. Mount Whitney, standing at 14,505 feet, is the tallest mountain in the lower 48 states.
I would love to know how much this is in kilometers.
While Badwater Basin in Death Valley, at 282 feet below sea level, is the lowest point. This proximity between such extreme elevations is a result of the unique tectonic and erosional forces that shape California's landscape. Death Valley's basin formed due to the stretching and thinning of the Earth's crust, while Mount Whitney rose from tectonic collisions.
What?
Together,
This is incredible. This is incredible. Such a huge mountain. My gosh. You know, for me, it's like wild because in Latvia, the biggest mountain is like what? 9-10 story building high. This mountain is like 10 story buildings, if not more.
they highlight the dramatic geologic diversity of the state. The Mississippi River Basin is one of the largest drainage systems in the world, covering 1.2 million square miles and draining water from 41% of the United States.
Oh, wow.
The basin spans 31 states and includes major rivers like the Missouri and Ohio, all flowing into the Mississippi River before emptying into the Gulf of Mexico. This vast watershed is essential for agriculture, transportation, and freshwater resources in the U.S. The Mississippi River alone is about 2,340 miles long, making it the second longest river in the country, behind the Missouri River, a tributary of the Mississippi. The river basin supports a variety of ecosystems, from wetlands and forests to prairies and mountains, and is home to millions of people and countless species of wildlife. However, the river system is also prone to flooding and faces significant environmental issues such as pollution from agricultural runoff. Once these nutrients, vital for farming, end up in the Gulf, they feed algae, which chokes off any other marine life present. But the size of the Mississippi is not even the most interesting fact about this famous river.
Here in Latvia, the biggest river is Daugava. Back in the day, it was a big trade route between the Sweden and Byzantine Empire. Imagine that. And nowadays, unfortunately, the trade died because they built a hydraulic station on the river, and unfortunately, like ships cannot pass it. So no more trade in Daugava.
In 1811 and 1812, a series of massive earthquakes in the central United States caused the Mississippi River to flow backward temporarily. The New Madrid earthquakes, as they became known, were so powerful that they caused ground subsidence, which forced the river to reverse its course in some places.
This is crazy how strong needs to be the earthquake to reverse the river. Reverse the river, man. What? I cannot imagine even, like...
The shaking caused waterfalls to form in certain stretches of the river, and eyewitnesses reported seeing water moving upstream. This event is one of the most remarkable in U.S. geologic history and demonstrates the power of tectonic forces even far away from active fault lines. Today, seismic activity in the New Madrid seismic zone still poses a risk to the region.
This is mad.
The Graveyard of the Pacific is a treacherous stretch of coastline along the Pacific Northwest, particularly the waters around the Columbia River Bar, where more than 2,000 ships have met their fate. This notorious
That's why it's a graveyard. Okay, I got it.
area stretches from Oregon's coast to Vancouver Island, British Columbia, and is infamous for its dangerous weather conditions, strong currents, and shifting sandbars. In fact, the Columbia Bar is one of the most hazardous river entrances in the world. Where the powerful Columbia River meets the Pacific Ocean, extreme waves and shifting sand create perilous conditions that have claimed countless ships. This hazardous area has been a threat to ship captains for centuries as stormy weather, dense fog, and sudden changes in water depth frequently cause vessels to run aground, capsize, or collide with hidden obstacles. Efforts to mitigate these dangers have included the construction of lighthouses, jetties, and a highly skilled team of Columbia Bar pilots who help guide ships safely across the bar.
That's what I thought. I thought straight away, like they need lighthouses straight away. Man, this is such a lifesaver for the ships.
Despite these measures, the region's volatile nature continues to make it a dangerous area for navigation, maintaining its reputation as the Graveyard of the Pacific.
I mean, USA is such a rich country, and it's not only about the money. We take nature, we take people, we take weather. Yes, you have all kinds of weather. You have tornadoes, you have you have earthquakes, everything, man. That for me as a European to hear this, it's like wild.
Kentucky's Mammoth Cave National Park is home to the longest cave system in the world, with over 400 miles of explored passages and potentially many more yet to be discovered.
That's a lot. 400 miles of caves, man.
Mammoth Cave has a rich history, with indigenous peoples using the caves thousands of years ago and modern explorers continuing to map its vast network of tunnels. The cave system is formed from limestone and shaped by the slow action of groundwater eroding the rock over millions of years.
That's crazy.
It contains a diverse array of subterranean ecosystems, including unique species of fish and bats. The cave's size and complexity make it a marvel of natural geology.
I mean, 400 miles caves, and probably they weren't built by a human. Probably they were built by nature. This is even more bizarre.
Did you know the US is home to both hot and cold deserts? Unlike the hot deserts of the American Southwest, the Great Basin, located in Nevada and Utah, experiences cold winters, often with snowfall. However, as temperatures rise and precipitation patterns vary due to climate change, the desert's boundaries are slowly extending.
This is another bizarre thing about America. You have deserts where you have snow. What? You kidding me, man? Deserts with the snow. Man, as I said before, I'm from country where we have 4 seasons and everything is very, very predictable. Yes, we don't have deserts with snow. Unfortunately, I don't know.
This expansion impacts local ecosystems, water resources, and agriculture. The Great Basin is already one of the driest areas in North America, and its growth highlights the broader environmental challenges of a warming planet. Hawaii, specifically the Big Island, is the only US state that's physically growing. This is due to the ongoing volcanic activity of Kilauea, one of the most active volcanoes on Earth. When lava from Kilauea flows into the ocean, it cools and solidifies, adding new land to the island's coastline.
What? And it's possible to grow trees and greens on this land? This is crazy.
The past few decades, Kilauea has continuously erupted, increasing the island's size by hundreds of acres. The volcanic activity also shapes Hawaii's landscapes, from black sand beaches to towering lava cliffs. While the eruptions can be destructive to human settlements, they are also responsible for creating the fertile, lush landscapes that make Hawaii so unique.
So you want to tell me that the landscapes in Hawaii are made by volcano? Man, this is from another world. I would never thought about that. And it's possible to live on those landscapes after. This is, oh wow.
Many more fascinating geographic facts about the United States, but those will have to wait for another video on another day. Until then, send me your favorite fun geography facts about your state or country. Who knows? Maybe they'll be made into a video. You just learned a lot of geography, and now you can showcase that geography right on your walls by buying a...
Listen, USA geography is like out of this galaxy. You guys have like everything. I mean, caves 400 miles, rivers floating backwards, like volcanoes creating landscapes, the biggest border with Canada. And if I'm gonna continue like this, I'm gonna end up tomorrow, with this video, so it's gonna take a long time. So I mean, you need to be proud of your land, because this is I now understand why Americans don't have like a passport to travel abroad, because you don't need to. You have everything, and you have things that like the rest of the world probably don't have a lot of them. So be grateful for that. So thank you for watching, and please like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. See you in next reaction videos.